What's up, everybody? It's Graphic Phoenix, back again with another video today, and today we're talking about Blue Tongue Skink Care. This guy, my Blue Tongue Skink, she is a Meraki. I think that's how you say it. I was corrected into saying that. But we'll start off with just some general info, like I said. So, Blue Tongue Skinks are becoming much more available in the pet trade through breeding of breeders in the States, such as Underground Reptiles. There's plenty of places like that that are breeding them. And I'm personally still waiting for shinglebacks, but I don't know if that's ever going to come true. Blue Tongue Skinks will grow anywhere from 18 to 24 inches long. I have seen some that are smaller. At the pet store I work at, we actually have one that's really small just because it was kept in such a small cage most of its life. And a typical lifespan of one of these guys is 15 to 20 years. Next, we'll go into some housing. First and foremost, make something that you're proud of. You don't want to make something that is not pretty to the eye. You want to make something that you're proud of. You spent money on your Blue Tongue, probably a decent bit, and you went through the struggle of actually finding one. Now you have one, might as well make it look nice. Minimum size you want for a Blue Tongue tank is 3 foot this way, 18 inches deep, and about 12 inches high. Mine's 18 inches high, but you can do 12, that's fine. So generally that rule is about 40 to 60 gallons. That should be a sufficient size for them. Remember that is a minimum size, but a bigger tank is always better. You guys could give these guys half a room and they would be pleased. It would be amazing. So remember, these guys are very fast growers, and as a baby, you might think they won't need a very big tank, but they will grow, and they grow fast. I'd just say start with the big tank with at least a minimum size, and if you want to provide more, even start them in that. Because remember, no tank is too big. As for stuff in the cage, decor and things, you want to have a flat basking spot, and that's what that tile you just saw was. Just that over there. That is a flat tile, and that's where a basking spot normally is. Right now I just put food in there, but that's where food goes, and I move her basking spot off. And that's for the hot side. That's all you want on the hot side. Just one flat area for them to bask on. And on the cold side, you can have plenty of hides. You can have water bowl. Well, you need a water bowl there. You want fake plants, hides, anything like that. The rest is kind of up to you. Just make sure it's on the cooler end. As for cleaning, of course, you want to do spot cleaning whenever you feel the need to. I stay on that pretty well. There is a few number 2s that go unnoticed, and I'll clean them out later. Generally, when you're spot cleaning, you want to clean out the whole area of substrate, just because their urine and urate and things come out, so you want to clean out that whole area. And you want to do a full clean of the tank every 1 to 2 months, preferably, and if that doesn't happen, then I'd say maximum of about 3 months, if you're staying on top of the spot cleaning. If you decide to pick up a Blue Tongue, make sure you have everything set up well in advance. And when I mean well in advance, I mean have all your bulbs tested, have the UVB running, have a water bowl already in there, have everything set up and ready to go for this Blue Tongue. I recommend a 12-hour photo period. That basically means having the lights on for 12 hours. I personally do 13 hours, but that's just what works best for me. And I'm sure an extra hour of heat and UVB doesn't kill them. I do certainly recommend you get a UVB bulb. However, some people say it's not needed, but it can't harm them, so might as well provide it. And you can also bring them out in the summertime when it's nice and warm, and they can run around your backyard. You do want to be careful. These guys can be very fast. And of course, you want to make sure it's a day with good visibility and make sure there's no birds around. Anyways, moving on to the temperatures. The daytime temperatures you want at the cool end, anywhere from the low 70s to low 80s. I don't recommend having it much hotter than that. Whereas on the hot end, you want a consistent of 95 to 100 degrees on the basking area. That's just to help them digest their meals and pass their excrements. As for wattage of basking bulbs, I have the biggest UVB bulb you can get. I think I have the 5.0. I might have the 10.0. I believe I have the 5.0 26 watt Exoterra UVB bulb, and that works perfectly. However, wattage of the heat bulb and things like that, you want to do experimenting by yourself. Obviously, you don't want to cook the thing. You want to have it at the right temperatures, and you want to have that set up before you get your blue tongue. Remember, always keep extra bulbs on hand, just in case one happens to blow out. You don't want them sitting in a cold tank for hours until you can get to the store and get back. And if it's at nighttime and you have school like me, and it bursts in the morning, you're kind of hooped. Even if it's not the perfect wattage, you might as well have some heat on there until you can get to the store. As for nighttime temperatures, you want to do no lower than 60 degrees. No lower, simply because if it gets much lower than that, then they will go into brumation. And they'll be lethargic, they won't eat much, they'll sleep constantly. Yeah, they just won't be awake and lively like a blue tongue normally is. Okay, now we'll move on to substrate. And for these guys, most substrates are fine. On the place where I was doing my research, they use aspen. They recommend cocoa fiber. There's Carefresh bedding. There's Reptibark. There's jungle litter. That's what I use. Pretty much any reptile substrate is good. However, do not use sand, crushed walnut shells, any pine or cedar products whatsoever. Gravel, obviously, and newspaper. The ink never really, I suppose, dries. It can rub off onto their feet and hands, and I mean, newspaper ink probably isn't the best thing for your blue tongue. From there, we'll move on to humidity. For blue tongues, you want to keep it low. Anywhere from 25 to 40% humidity is generally the right, I guess, ballpark. You don't want it too much higher or too much lower than that. I mean, my humidity in this room might be a little bit higher than that, but that's just because I have my chameleons and things, and in her cage, it's not much higher than 40, if it's even close to 40. If it does get much higher humidity than that, you can see scale rot start to form. You can see bacteria and things growing on them. You don't want it too much higher than that. Just bottom line. Last but not least, we move on to diet. First and foremost, if you guys want to see their diet, a nice video of their diet that I made, click on Sky, my blue tongue skink, right now, and there should be a link there, and you can go click on that. If not, it will be in the description for those of you that are watching on mobile. Remember, 50-40-10. 50% veggies and greens, 40% protein, and 10% fruit. If you want a very detailed breakdown, you can visit bluetongueskinks.net for a ridiculously informative breakdown of their diet. Generally, what I have in my bowl right there is some cat food, some hamburger, collard greens, romaine, kale, Swiss chard, banana, and squash. And that's generally what I have in there, with varied greens, obviously. But that's kind of a more staple diet for mine. Make sure for water you keep in there a heavy water bowl, as you can see out there. A heavy water bowl, and clean it as often as you can. They do like to defecate in their water dish. It pisses us all off, but that's just what they do. Anyways, guys, I hope this was an informative video for you. I certainly enjoyed filming it. I hope for the people that are getting into blue tongues, people that have blue tongues, people that might look into blue tongues, find this video informative. Remember to share it if you do feel it deserves the share on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere really. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Tytula. Link should be in the description, as well as on Instagram. I'm posting the notes I used for this on there, so hopefully that'll help you guys out if you missed something. Do remember to like the video if you did in fact like it. Comment, because I want to hear what you guys think of the video and what you guys want to see. As well as subscribe. Anyways, guys, it's been Graphic Phoenix. It's time for me and everyone in here to get to bed. Good night.